Hi, welcome to the FAU Libraries workshop. My name is Christy Padron. I'm with the FAU Libraries.
And I am Chelsea Sacco with the FAU Career Center.
We're going to be presenting this online streaming workshop, Your Social Media Presence, Employability via Social Media and Your Brand. So Chelsea's going to kick it off first, talking about your importance of having a good social media presence as you look for work. So I'll pass the baton.
Thank you. All right. So as we go through, all right. So what employers want. So what we're going to talk about today, your social media presence, just your digital presence in general, and how does that affect you when job searching, when doing your occupational research. So these 8 skills that we have listed here are skills that employers want you to have coming out of college. So they say once you graduate from college, you should already have developed these 8 skills. So we want to make sure we're thinking about these skills and seeing how are we really able to identify them through our classwork, through doing group projects, individual projects, with our teamwork, our leadership skills, our communication skills. Digital technology is what we're going through right now on YouTube Live, and all the other skills that you're going to get through showing up on time. Professionalism brings in showing up on time to class, showing up professionally and looking your best, as well as critical thinking and problem solving, which is really kind of the catch-all with everything of just how they even ask you questions and how you handle them and what those outcomes are. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about, this brings in what's in it for me, so talk about why it's important to have that digital presence. So your personal brand and really developing your brand. So your personal brand does allow you to stand out. So when you're going on a job interview, and you have the same major, the same almost qualifications as another candidate, what is going to make you stand out to them? So it could be your digital presence, or it could be your professionalism and how you handle yourself, and how, again, you make yourself stand out. So your personal brand, again, is what helps you be you and what differentiates you from all the other students who are in the same major as you, and really potentially in the same organizations as you and going to the same career fairs as you. So whether it's an awesome tie you like to wear or really cool socks or something that helps you stand out in person, could also help you stand out on your social media. So your brand that's on your digital presence, which is usually your social media accounts, helps you identify what's different. So on LinkedIn, which is a site that helps you kind of show your resume on a digital presence, on a digital platform, really shows a little bit more about you than just your resume can. So we have this piece of paper with all our qualifications and all our information, but your LinkedIn account also shows what you're interested in. It shows the people that you're connected with, as well as things that you like, the people that you connect with on there and their articles that they're posting. What are some things that you're liking and you're commenting on? And people are able to see that if you are connected with them on LinkedIn. All right, so in less than 4 minutes, opinions are formed, hiring decisions are made, and we make our first impression. So whether that's in person at a career fair, and you walk up to them, you have about 30 seconds, if that, to talk to them and talk to the recruiter or the employer. You're handing them your resume. They're, again, looking at it for maybe less than 30 seconds, but they are checking if you had a good handshake, if you have good eye contact, if you are dressed professionally and appropriately, Did you look prepared? So did you have a resume with you? All those things they are remembering and jotting down right away, and that's in person. In your digital presence, they are instantly seeing, do they keep a more professional page? Do they keep their LinkedIn profile professional and their Facebook or their Instagram is maybe more for their friends, but does it still show a professional presence? So that's how you decide how you want it to go and how you build that personal brand for yourself. All right, so social media, we just put this up because this is a cute little snapshot for you. But social media is huge. Employers are looking at it. When you are looking for jobs and looking for internships, this is a place that they go to find more information than just your resume can give you, or give them, I should say. So some social media etiquette, and we will go through some do's and don'ts. But what you post never goes away, so no matter what your privacy settings are, no matter where, if it's on MySpace, which isn't even a platform anymore, it still is there when someone looks you up or can Google you. Recruiters are looking at your profiles, so they're not always looking for a negative thing. It doesn't have to be negative that they are looking you up ahead of time, but it could be for the purpose of to get a little bit of personality out of you and to see a little bit more what you're interested in. Keep your audience in mind. So again, as I already mentioned, LinkedIn is one of a more professional platform. You don't need to be posting selfies on LinkedIn. Instead, be posting good articles and publications you found that you're interested in, or successes at your jobs, as well as our Instagram and our Facebook. Be aware that employers could find those and could be looking at those, but they are also aware that they could be a little bit more for your friends, your family, and a little bit less professional and more fun. All right, so we'll go through some do's and don'ts. And see how you're in the best way can do that. So posting positive content. So that could be, that definitely shows your first impression. So that could be posting a time that you have done community involvement, that you are having a great time with your family, your friends, but keeping it, again, professional, and that people are looking at it in a more positive way. That goes along with just your pictures, but also just the posts that you are creating as well. Don't post questionable photos of yourself. So again, as we said, privacy settings, yes, they are there, but if you Google someone, potentially it is still captured on there. So just don't post anything that you wouldn't want others to see and pass judgment on. And do Google yourself. So if you haven't done this yet, you should. So Googling yourself, it's just kind of like in movies when people are about to go on a blind date, they Google their date and find some potentially questionable things. So you yourself should Google yourself and see what are some of the positive comes up, what are some maybe potentially old photos that come up. Does it connect to your LinkedIn, or does it go straight to your Facebook? So what are the first things that someone sees when they Google your name? Don't post negative status updates or tweets. So as much as you can, stay positive with what you're posting. If you don't have anything good to say or positive to say, you don't need to use that for your social media. You can simply go call a friend or call a family member if you need to get it out of your system, but you don't need to be posting this on social media. All right, some more don'ts we have. So you don't want to make your online presence all about you. And what that means is that we want to see the extracurriculars you're doing. And we want to see, yes, what you're interested in, but also how are you bettering the community, or how are you interacting with your family and interacting with your friends. And then don't avoid the internet. So if all of this scares you and it's making you think, oh, when I'm job searching, I just have to cancel all my pages. You want to have that presence. You want to stand out. You want to be different. But again, just keep it as positive as you can. And then again, this shows your interaction with other groups and other people. Whereas if you didn't have that presence, people wouldn't necessarily be able to see what are those extra things you're doing, or who are you connecting with.
Hey, Chelsea, I have a question.
Yes.
What if I posted something that might be a little risque or questionable on my social media?
Mm-hmm.
What would you suggest for me or other people who may have posted things that might not be so great, like when I'm looking for a job or in the past?
Yes. So if it's something that you see when you Google yourself and it is still something that potentially comes up, you can go ahead and clean up your page if you've done potentially negative tweets in the past. You can definitely go back and erase it, but if it is something that potentially could still come up, you just have to be as positive as you can and be comfortable explaining it to an employer. So if they do find it and they do ask about it, you have to be honest with them and then just be comfortable really explaining it to them and explaining, while we were young, this was the situation that was going on.
Oh, okay. Thank you. My dean was very curious about that part, about social media and posting things.
Yes. And if you have good connections, potentially you can totally wipe it off the internet. But you got to know some cool people for that. All right. So just a couple more things from me before I pass it on to Christy. So social media and your job search. So what this is showing here are the different ways that people are using these social media platforms to use it for their job search. So again, as I said, potentially Facebook and Instagram are your more social ones, your more fun ones with your family and friends, rather than a professional presence like your LinkedIn. But these are being used still for in the job search world. So whether it's just making connections, whether it's finding from different articles and different publications that people post, it is still a platform that you could use to help get you connected to those job search opportunities.
Okay, so if I'm on Twitter and I want to get a job, say, as a athletic trainer, could I just enter, say, athletic trainer into the search and then find Twitter feeds and other things that might be leading to job postings or anything like that?
Yes, you certainly can. So what we have at the Career Center, our Twitter actually, so we differentiate all of our different social media accounts. So our Twitter account on the Career Center page is actually mainly for posting those jobs and for posting internship opportunities. So if anyone was to search athletic trainer, if we've ever posted anything about it, it would come up, or other opportunities such as different organizations, athletics organizations could pop up, and whether you're using it to find a job but also just to network could be a positive way to use a social media platform.
Okay, so if I follow the FAU Career Center, I can keep up on all of this.
You can.
Ah, great. Okay, thank you. I did not know that was available
Yes.
until now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we also, on our Twitter, you'll also see, obviously, when we retweet things and when we like things, what we're following. And we connect with all of our employers that come and recruit our FAU students on there as well.
Wow.
All right, so this, I'm just going to leave you with this, some food for thought. It says brands are built on what people are saying about you, not what you are saying about yourself. So, of course, that brings in that first impression and just that branding and what people are noticing about you and what people are seeing on your social media platforms. Thank you. All right, I'm going to pass you off to Christy now.
All right, so where does the library fit into all of this? We fit in because we provide a lot of business, company, and industry information sources. Whether you're looking for a job, or maybe you want to find more information about a particular career, or maybe you're curious about what the news has been saying lately about a particular company or even industry. The FAU Libraries does provide these information sources for students as well as the public if they want to come into the building and use that. Even if you're a staff person and you want to maybe do a change in your career, or you finally figured out what you wanted to be when you grew up, I'm still growing up, we have these information sources for you all. So why should you get some information from these sources? Well, one of the key things is to learn about job prospects in your field or within various regions. For instance, if you're going to be doing, say, fashion, you may want to be in the fashion centers like New York or LA, or maybe even Miami. So you get some information to see where the action is taking place for your particular career of interest. You could also learn about the salary, how much are you going to make doing a certain occupation, what are the working conditions like, are you going to be working steadily or are you going to be working on gigs? That's really important information to find out if you want to know if a job or a career is going to be a good fit for you. And then most of all, the outlook for growth. Is your particular career going to be one that's going to be increasing in numbers? Like I understand a lot of healthcare positions they'll be having a lot of openings because of the aging population, retirements, or is it going to be one of those occupations where computers and automation have really taken the place of people doing the job? So it's very important to take a look at that information. Also, you can find information about companies or corporations where you're interested in working. You can see who is the CEO. You can find out what are their guiding principles, what are their SWOTs, that is, what is their successes. Let's see, SWOT. Successes, strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities. So you could do a little SWOT analysis on a particular company or industry and decide if that's the kind of place where you want to be and to work. You could also use a lot of this information for leads. For instance, as Chelsea had mentioned, you can take a look at the Twitter feeds and other social media feeds for information about a company or an industry. And also you could use this information to prepare you to talk to these people and interact with people when you're interested in their company or a position they have to offer. One example of a library information source that we have available is called the Occupational Outlook Handbook. It is made by the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the United States government. And what they do is they research how different fields and different industries are evolving. They make all this information available to you so you can make a decision about how you want to pursue a job and if you want to pursue a career in a certain area. In this instance, I found what the Occupational Outlook Handbook had to say about fashion design. They call it the OOH, or the OO, I think. It shows you some information about what fashion designers do, and that little tab there, what they do. They'll describe the working environment that fashion designers will usually find themselves working. They'll talk about the pay, the job outlook, and recall that I mentioned you want to know where the action is taking place in your particular field or profession. You've got the state and area data so that if you want to be a fashion designer, how likely will you be able to find a job in a place like, say, New York City as opposed to maybe Lincoln, Nebraska? No cut on the Cornhuskers out there, by the way. So Occupational Outlook is readily available on the internet as well, but it is an information source that the library does promote so that you can make an informed decision about what career to choose. Then we also have some information sources that give you different types of information about careers and industries. Here we have a source called IBIS World, which is available through the FAU Library's webpage. Here, IBIS World will give me a description about the industry of fashion designers here in the US. So I can get a lot of very valuable information here. The tabs, as you can see in the tan, say that we've got industry at a glance, how's the industry performing, the outlook, and then it will give you some major companies as well. Oops, excuse me, wrong way. The other thing that IBIS World will tell you is the supply chain, that is, what will influence its supply and demand. So what's going to influence the hiring of fashion designers and the whole fashion industry. IBIS will give you a very nice summary of fashion design as well as many other industries. It will also give you some information about the outlook, that is, it will give a bit of a SWOT analysis as well, just as the other information sources can do. And then it will also lead you to similar industries. So maybe when you learned about fashion design and you weren't really agreeing with the conditions of the work, or maybe they didn't make enough money that you wanted in terms of salary, IBIS World will give you similar industries that you can follow that have something very similar. So instead of going to fashion, maybe you can go into textiles, maybe you can go into fashion publishing, so forth. So IBIS World would give you some pointers about that. You'll also get some web pages from professional organizations. Now, I definitely like to promote the professional organizations and getting information about the one for your occupation or your field. Professional organizations will often have internships, correct. They will a lot of times have information about very valuable internships that you could take. Maybe you can identify some contacts or mentors. A lot of professional organizations will have student chapters as well. I know the American Medical Association has student chapters for people who are interested in pre-med or they are already in medical school. So take a look at the professional organization websites to see contacts, student organizations, and maybe even conferences and trainings that you could attend. And then finally, IBIS World will give you the location. So, according to IBIS World, it looks like California and New York are the places to be for fashion, but so is Florida, Texas, and Illinois. Now, maybe you just want some current information about what's happening. You want to see what's going on in the news for a particular company that you're really interested in. Since my cousin really likes fashion, he's also loves Versace, and so I just thought, okay, if my cousin wanted to find information about the Versace group, what could he do? Well, ProQuest ABI Inform is an information source that we call a database. It is a collection of professional and trade publications in business. So if you're into aviation, Inform will have publications on that field. If you're interested in engineering, that is the human resources aspect of it, you'll find a lot of information here. And then you'll also get a lot of news from various industries. So my cousin, going back to my cousin who likes Versace, could do a search for the Versace group here in the ABI Inform. Let's just say he wants something more recent. So we can say, let's limit it on the publication date toward the bottom there to the last 12 months. Then he can select search. So here's some information and news about the Versace group. It looks like Michael Kors had put in a bid to acquire Versace, and this was posted in the Wall Street Journal back in 2018 in September. Apparently, they did purchase it. I did not know that. So for those of you who might be interested in working for Versace, it'd be very helpful to know that it's probably going to be going through a lot of change because it was recently acquired from a different company. So in addition, you also get some other news as well that may be very helpful for you to stay on top of what's going on in your industry. One of the things that Chelsea and I had really been talking about was ways that you can differentiate yourself in this workshop. We definitely encourage you to use social media as well as the information you may find to stand out from others and to create your personal brand. You can use the information sources and the various social media tools to show you are knowledgeable, highly motivated, and are willing to go the extra mile. My sister was a legal assistant for a long time. She was a secretary in legal firms. She then moved to Houston, Texas, that has a very large presence of oil and energy companies there. So most of the jobs that she was interested in doing were in those fields. So she had asked me what she could do to prepare for interviews. So me being the librarian that I am, I identified some oil and energy journals and magazines and websites that she could take a look at. I encouraged my sister to take a look at what's going on within a company. She got a job with a Spanish oil company called Respol, R-E-S-P-O-L, and she was able to get the job because she was able to communicate what she knew about their company, and she was there for quite a while. So when you think about building your personal brand, just think about what you'll be doing differently. You know, now that you know about having a good professional social media presence and finding some information and maybe even finding jobs on Twitter, Facebook, or other platforms, think about what you could do now that we've given you some new information. Okay, so it looks like Chelsea's going to come back with us. So I'm going to switch it here. Oh, okay, and I forgot about this one too. Okay, so to give you some information that you could take with you, we have a careers library guide or LibGuide that will give you some links to the Occupational Outlook Handbook and other information sources that can help you find out about a career or an industry. You can also attend library workshops such as this one, as well as others that we have throughout the semester to help you get through the time you're here at FAU. And we also provide library tours in person, so we can show you the different areas of the library in case it seems a little huge to you. So you can also see this information on our library webpage at library.fau.edu. All right, so. And then finally, you could also follow us on social media. We have a Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter account, as well as Pinterest and Instagram. You can keep up on our workshops, our events, any new things that are happening in the library. Follow us, and you can stay in touch with us.
Thank you, Christy. All right, so this just shows a little bit more about the FAU Career Center and what we can assist with. This shows our hours for our Boca Raton campus, so you can also visit our website at fau.edu/career because we are also on the Davie and Jupiter campuses as well. An important thing I want to point out is our handshake. So this is a new platform that we launched over the summer that now has all the information to look for internships and jobs, as well as job shadowing opportunities. All of our career fairs and career events are going to be posted on there, and this is also how you can connect with us to create an appointment with us as well. All right, and in our office, one important thing I do want to point out, we do have a professional clothes closet. So this is if you're interested in looking good and feeling good for any career event, any classroom presentation that you might have, student organization that you're going to be attending, anything that you might need to wear professional clothing. So we'll have this available all the time. It is gently used clothing that was donated to us by either FAU staff members, community members in Boca in this area. So you can always come in and get free professional clothing. All right, so I spoke a little bit about our Twitter account already and what we post on there and who we connect with. So on our Instagram accounts, I do want to point out as well, we also post and highlight a lot of different internship opportunities. So we highlight students who tell us that their internships are awesome and they want to share information about it. So we do post that on our Instagram, as well as, and kind of Facebook's a catch-all. We post a lot of similar things of our Instagram and our Twitter account. We do have a lot of career fairs coming up and a big JCPenney suit-up event as well. So make sure you're following us, you're liking us, you're tweeting at us, and definitely connecting with us through Handshake. All right.
All right, so finally, for those of you who need a certificate of completion, if you follow this URL, you will be taken to a 5-item quiz as proof of viewing this workshop. Certificates will be emailed for passing scores. A passing score is going to be 80 out of 100, so if you get 4 of the answers correct, you will be sent a certificate to your email that you provide. The URL is tinyurl.com/FAULIB-quiz QUIZ3, and then you can take that quick 5-item quiz that goes over things that Chelsea and I had covered for this particular workshop. So, yeah.
Come back in here.
So, all right, so thank you very much for coming to this workshop. If you have any questions, well, you know where to reach Chelsea and you know where to reach myself.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and watching.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye.